Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Karin Helmstedt.
Greetings from Berlin once again, and welcome to our highlights of the past week, which this time around included the following stories. Time to celebrate. The legendary Porsche 911 turns 50. Time to speculate. Britain eagerly awaits the birth of a new royal. Time to demonstrate how a new fun sport is rolling through town. Well, for many car enthusiasts, it's the epitome of sports car chic and the best way to get the women to do a double take. I'm talking about the iconic Porsche 911, and its combination of performance, power and poetry in motion is not just fact, it's legend. Well, this year, the 911 model celebrates its 50th anniversary, and many models later, it's still a design icon and a speedster's wildest dream.
Lass uns eine Runde Solitude-Rennstrecke fahren. Auf geht's.
These Porsche 911s can do 0 to 100 in a sweet 5 seconds and hit peak speeds of 300 kilometers per hour. Although they do guzzle gas at speeds like that. Joachim Grossmann has 4 different 911s. Filling the front passenger seat is never a problem.
I started 40 years ago. It's just a great car. The engine sound is fantastic, and the accelerator response is superb. Driving these cars is incredible fun.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Porsche's most famous car. The company's museum in Stuttgart is celebrating with an exhibition featuring 40 different models, covering half a century of 911 heritage. Matthias Kuller joined the Porsche design team 24 years ago. For Kuller, the original 911 remains the ultimate edition.
Ever since I was a boy, I've really liked the 911's pace. Back then, it was already leaving other cars in the dust. It also looked fast, thanks to its dimensions and dynamic styling. But it was also a subtle, conservative car. The combination of elegance, sporty proportions, and functionality was a winner.
The Porsche 911 first wowed the world in 1963, when it was unveiled in prototype form at the Frankfurt Motor Show. It's been the beating heart of the Porsche brand for 5 decades. In its 7 successive generations, the 911 has sold a total of over 800,000 units worldwide. Over the years, its sports car credentials have also been proven on the track, with triumphs at the Monte Carlo Rally and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. For journalist Hans-Jörg Götzl, the key to the Speedster's popularity is its versatility.
The marriage of performance and practicality is a crucial factor. You can use this car to get to work every day or take the kids to school, but you can also drive it to the Arctic Circle. Wherever you go, the car is almost guaranteed to get you there safely.
The anniversary exhibition also showcases the latest generation of the 911. Matthias Kuller and his team spent 2 years on the new edition. Their efforts were recognized with the prestigious Red Dot Award for design.
It looks like a 911. The side profile, the wide rear and the body shape are those of a 911. Plus the simplicity and bold look. I'm proud of how we managed to retain the DNA of the 911 while combining it with modern design.
Joachim Grossmann's 911 models date from between 1986 and 2010. Some of them cost over 100,000 euros. But for true Porsche fans, it's the inner values that really count.
The white G model has 231 horsepower, but it really packs a punch when you step on it. Porsche horsepower count double. Okay, if you're driving through torrential rain on the Autobahn, you have to give preference to cars like the Audi Quattro. The Porsche does remain prone to aquaplaning.
The Porsche 911, a living legend among auto enthusiasts.
"50 years and still ripping up the tarmac." Well, celebrations to mark Queen Elizabeth's coronation 60 years ago were going on this past week in London. But rather curiously, there was another kind of hype in the air. Namely, at a special service for the Queen at Westminster Abbey, the buzz of reporters that were eager to get a look at the Duchess of Cambridge, or rather, at her royal bump. Well, otherwise known as Prince William's wife, Kate, the Duchess is indeed carrying the next royal baby, and the upcoming birth this July is the talk of the town in London.
Margaret Tyler is a huge fan of the royal family. She's been looking forward to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's first baby ever since the pregnancy was announced last year.
I think it's going to be the most marvellous thing when we have Kate and William's first baby. I think the country, the world is going to go mad. It's the most important baby in the world, and it's not here yet.
Her modest home in a London suburb, the self-styled Heritage House, contains an enormous collection of over 10,000 royal mementos. Her passion for royal memorabilia began over 30 years ago. The collection ranges from cups and plates to cardboard cutouts and photographs. The new baby souvenirs will take pride of place right next to her William and Kate dolls.
The first souvenir will be a mug, because I love china, and a plate, I hope, and, you know, just general china. Obviously, we don't know yet whether a pink one or a blue one. If anybody was selling pink and blue ones, I would buy one of each, because I know then I've got it right somewhere.
Porcelain manufacturer Hudson and Middleton is working at full capacity to cope with the demand for themed china cups. The gender and name of the baby have to wait until the big day, of course. But the mug prototypes are already finished, in both blue and pink.
For the royal baby, we have got orders currently of about 6,000 to 8,000. So really, we are looking to do something like 50,000 pieces in a very short window of about a month.
Hudson and Middleton was founded in Stoke-on-Trent in 1875. This is the heart of the potteries region of the English Midlands, named after the many ceramics companies that were founded here in the 17th century. Although many have gone, factory chimneys still feature prominently on Stoke's skyline. Hudson and Middleton combines traditional craftsmanship with modern technology. Its 40-strong workforce turns out 8,000 items of china a week in a variety of designs. The new commemorative mug presents one potential headache for the makers, though, the baby having an inconveniently long name, or names.
It could test us. It could be a situation where we have to shrink the size of the print, or even consider a bigger beaker if we end up with an enormous amount of names. But normally what would happen is we can always put initials for some of the names if we have to.
The bookmakers in Britain, famous for giving odds on everything imaginable, have seen a flurry of bets on the baby's name. Among the current favourites are Alexandra, Elizabeth, Diana, Victoria and George. But it's not only the name that people are betting on.
Anything from the hair colour of the baby to how much the baby's going to weigh maybe when it's born, or even the day or time that the baby's going to be born. And a couple funny ones like whether it's going to be maybe a cesarean or a natural birth, and the magazine that get the first official rights to the first photos.
And the baby is not just an issue of interest for those who fancy a flutter.
I think it's very uplifting for all the country, and it's something that's very much needed,
I think it's exciting, and she seems like she'll be an amazing mother.
The royals are not really something which I think about very often, so I guess not really, not much excitement.
Margaret Tyler is very excited. She already has plans for the big day.
I think I will have a little baby party. I don't drink myself, only drink tea, but, other people can drink champagne and wet the baby's head, and it's such a joyous occasion. I mean, a new baby is lovely in any family, but this is special because it's a future king or queen. I mean, for such a small baby, it's a lot, isn't it?
For this royal collector extraordinaire, the arrival of the future heir to the throne can't come soon enough.
Well, at this point in the show, I don't normally take a seat, but then I don't usually have such a nifty little stool at my disposal. And if you think that this is any ordinary stool, well, then I'd have to ask you to think again. Well beyond its relatively pleasant and somewhat understated design, because there are some people for whom a stool like this is a regular workout and certainly a whole lot of fun. So introducing the Sporthocker, or sports stool, made in Germany and really on a roll.
Slide. Freeze. Leapfrog. Hand roll combination. These stools weren't just made for sitting. Thousands of young people have discovered this new fun sport, and now they get together the world over to practice, just like here in Berlin.
At first I thought it looked silly, the way they were juggling their stools. But I had lots of fun and stuck with it. There are so many tricks you can learn.
The people who do it are very open and curious. They're always such exciting people.
Whenever I do it, everybody looks and asks what this is about. They start talking and it's a chance for me to tell them about it. It's special.
Juggling with stools originated in the circus. This new sport takes things a step further, incorporating elements of modern breakdance. Michael and Stefan Landschütz are among its pioneers. They've won competitions and set world records, and they reinvented the stool as sports equipment. In 2007, the two product designers came up with a durable stool ideally suited for their often daring acrobatics. They made it available as the Sporthocker, featuring a range of graphics for retail prices of 90 to 160 euros. Their idea to turn a simple plastic stool into a piece of sports equipment has won a number of prizes.
This one's robust. This one isn't. It'd break right away. It's made of very brittle plastic. This is relatively lightweight. It won't break. Plus, it's hard to grip this one. But, as you see, this one is very easy to grab. I can lift it with one finger, but not this one. I can jump on it and do all kinds of stuff, handstands, whatever I want, and it won't break.
Recently, the brothers started touring Europe, performing in such major cities as Rome. They present their new sport as a street performance, videotaping each other and posting the videos on the internet.
Every city is different. Rome isn't Madrid, and Madrid isn't London. Every city has its own character. Different places have different steps, blocks, and heights, and they inspire more new tricks. That's the great thing about it. Basically, you can do it anywhere, and this inspiration has helped to develop and spread the sport rapidly.
Berlin stages Europe's biggest youth sports and lifestyle trade fair. Stefan and Michael Landschütz have been there promoting the Sporthockers and the sport that goes with them. It's not easy to learn the first tricks. Beginners are always a bit wobbly on their stools.
I think they look really cool. I'm totally interested in what they're doing. It looks really awesome and I'd like to do it, but it must be pretty hard. It's hard to keep your balance on it.
It's something new and new sports are fun.
It's kind of fun, and it's a challenge to learn a trick like this.
This sport isn't about mastering all the moves perfectly. Sporthocker is more about getting together, practicing tricks, and being outside.
Well, up to Norway now, where they're celebrating a happy occasion for a master of melancholy. The expressionist painter Edvard Munch is that country's most famous artist, and his masterpiece, The Scream, is an image that has been copied countless times. Well, Munch was born 150 years ago, and now an anniversary double exhibition in Oslo illuminates the darkness of his vision.
It's an iconic image known the world over. The Scream, painted by Edvard Munch in 1893. One of the key paintings of the Expressionist movement, it captures Munch's goal of creating works that are a study of the soul. Norway is currently celebrating the 150th anniversary of Munch's birth. A commemorative exhibition is being held at Oslo's National Gallery and the Munch Museum. With 250 exhibits in all, it's the most comprehensive retrospective of the artist's work to date. Niels Olsen from Germany is one of the curators.
Munch is still very relevant for us today. He's accessible, and every day we have hundreds of visitors who try to imitate the Scream. But he also continues to have a massive influence on contemporary art. He's a highly experimental artist who always drew on his own life for his work.
That meant considering difficult themes such as illness, fear, mourning and death. The artist lost his mother at a young age, and his older sister Sophie, whom he adored, died of tuberculosis. Munch himself struggled with alcoholism. In one important work entitled The Sick Child, Munch breaks with realism to take on his sister's death. Hans-Martin Flaten is an art historian and an expert on Edvard Munch. He takes us on a tour of Munch's Oslo.
This place is where Munch and his family lived between 1885 and 1889. And he painted two of his early masterpieces here. The Sick Child between 1885 and 1886, and also Spring in 1889. And this was a working class area of town. And Munch's father was a doctor. He worked in the military, but he also served the population around here.
This is the district of Grünerløkka, where Munch grew up. After a year at technical college, he decided to devote himself to art.
The church, the row of houses going up the hill that we see right behind me, was the first subject chosen by Munch when he was 18 years old and had decided to become a serious artist. And the view was the one he could see from his family's flat just across the river.
This is the apartment block where Edvard Munch grew up with his brother and three sisters in a very religious family.
Now we are on Ekeberg, and in the background we can see the view of Oslo. And in Munch's most famous picture, The Scream, you can see a similar simplified view. So this was something well known to people. And Munch sort of turned that around and did something horrible and frightening.
Loneliness and despair take on a sensory dimension. A scream escapes from the canvas, a sound captured for our eyes.
The scream was stolen from the Munch Museum in 2004. It caused a huge interest in the media. A version of the painting was auctioned off in New York last year. It's currently the most expensive painting worldwide. It's partly thanks to the media that this work has become iconic.
The Scream is one of the world's most famous paintings, and the anniversary exhibition in Oslo shows why Edvard Munch's masterpiece continues to captivate us to this day.
Well, speaking of captivating, there were nifty new furniture designs to be seen at the annual DMY Design Festival in Berlin. Now, it's the biggest event of its kind here in Germany, and this year more than 500 exhibitors from 30 nations took part. The special focus was on Poland, and this allowed Polish design talent, both established and newcomer, to attract some international attention. And so we caught up with one young duo from Gdansk whose career already looks to be into smooth sailing.
Furniture made from sailcloth is waterproof, inflatable and mobile. These designs are by Agata Kulik and Paweł Pomorski from Gdańsk. The husband and wife team work together as the designer duo Malafor.
Our furniture is inspired by the traditional sailcloth of this region. There are lots of workshops here in Gdansk that make the best sails for customers around the world. We produce our chairs and sofas in the same tradition. Not only do we use the same material, the seams and joins are also made in the same way.
It takes about a minute for the limp material to become design objects for the living room. They're inspired by the beach and a maritime lifestyle. Agata Kulik and Paweł Pomorski live in the countryside near Gdańsk. This is where they design their furniture. With this small addition, a standard ladder can be converted into an elevated throne. The two seek to blend functionality with a touch of irony.
We're not interested in regular wooden chairs. No, we char our stools. We don't make normal sofas either. We make them out of paper or sailcloth. We like to play with contrasts when we design. But we still take our job as designers seriously. The furniture must be functional, that's the main thing. But there's always some kind of ingenuity.
Downstairs in the workshop, Paweł Pomorski is working on the latest project. This structure is a custom design for the port city of Gdynia near Gdańsk and is made for bathers to relax on as they float on the sea. Creative designers from around the world are currently meeting at the former Tempelhof airport in Berlin. It's the annual DMY Design Festival. This year, Poland is the focus, so of course Malafor are making an appearance.
It was important for us to come here, as so many products from Poland are being shown here in Berlin. Now, everyone can see that design is also important to us in Poland.
40 Polish designers were invited to the festival. Never before have so many designers from Poland displayed works in Germany at the same time. Visitors are making new discoveries, like these stools by design label Tabanda, or this coat stand by Tomek Regalik.
Historically, Poland has been more of a place for production rather than design. In the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen the design industry becoming more important for Poland, and more Polish designers are working for international companies.
Over the past few years, Polish economic growth has been surging. Jakub Szczęsny works in Warsaw as an architect and designer for a growing number of affluent customers.
It's only now, in the last couple of years, that people start to need Polish things, and they feel a pride of having their own Polish designs, not expensive Italian sofas. So it's probably some moment in the development of our society.
Many young creative people are now moving to the port city of Gdańsk and its neighboring coastal towns. Paweł Pomorski and Agata Kulik themselves studied at the Gdańsk Academy of Fine Arts.
Our customers are excited about design. They're German, French, Italian, or Spanish, but very few are Polish. We can change that by designing nice things and getting involved in interesting projects.
In 2012, Malafor won the Red Dot Award for their sofa. The duo stand for new, innovative design from Poland.
And a salute from the beach. That's all for this edition of our highlights. Thanks very much for watching and hope you'll be tuning in next time around. Until then, all the best from us in Berlin and tschüss.